So we've got the Martens Adrian Loafer or the Solovair Tassel Loafer. Which one should you go for? This is a question that I've been asked a lot recently, so I'm going to do my best to answer it in this video. And just to be fully transparent here, the Martens I bought with my own money, whereas the Solovairs I was gifted by the brand. But they don't know I'm making this video, I haven't told them, so hopefully they don't mind. But I'm not going to be biased towards them because they gifted me the shoe. I'm going to be honest here because my reputation is on the line. But enough waffling, let's get right into it. So here in the UK, the standard docks cost £150, whereas the Solovairs are £159, so there's not much in it. So at a glance, both shoes look almost identical, but there are some differences. And if you didn't know already, then Solovair used to help make Martens for Martens up until the 90s, I think. So that's why their shoes look so similar to Docs. But the Solovairs have a more sleek and slimmer silhouette than the Docs, which gives them a more smart and dressy look in my opinion. The toe box is also shorter on the Solovairs, and the ridge is more rounded and neater compared to the Docs. And because the Docs are more chunky and rough around the edges, I do think they give off a more casual look, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And when it comes to the soles of each shoe, they look almost identical, apart from the colour. The Solovairs have a black PVC sole, whereas the Docs have a yellow PVC sole. I think the yellow sole on the Docs again gives them a more casual look, and I think I prefer the sole on the Solovairs. It's not enough to make me choose the Solovairs over the Martens, but if I had to choose a favourite sole, it would be the Solovairs. But what about you? Which one do you prefer, the yellow sole or the black sole? And having another look at the soles, we can see some exposed stitching on the Solovairs, whereas there's no visible stitching on my pair of Docs. Now you can get the Adrian Loafers with the classic Marten yellow stitching around it, but I decided against it with this shoe for a cleaner finish. Saying that though, I do like the yellow stitching on Docs at times, but sometimes I find it a little bit too distracting, so that's why I decided against it with this pair. The stitching on the Solovairs, however, is subtle enough to not be too distracting, but it adds some nice detail, so I do really like it. So the Martens I have are made in Thailand, whereas the Solovairs are made in England. Now you can get the made in England version of the Adrian Loafer, but it's £50 more, and from what I've heard from numerous people, it's not worth the price. So in my opinion, the Solovairs have a cleaner finish to them over the Docs, and there's a lot more attention to detail. The stitching's neater, and the leather sections are cut more precisely, and they sit more flush against the shoe. It just looks like a lot more thought and care went into the makeup of the Solovairs over the Martens, in my opinion. And although a lot of people will prefer this, a lot of other people might prefer the more rough and ready look of the Docs, especially if you like to wear more relaxed streetwear looks or more punky and grungy looks. And when it comes to the soles, both shoes have Goodyear welted soles, but I've heard a lot of different things about them. I've heard from some people that the Solovairs are a lot easier to re-sole and the Docs are really difficult, and then I've heard from others that both shoes are really difficult to re-sole. I've also heard that a lot of cobblers will turn people away for either shoe because the job is too difficult or too expensive, and you're better off just buying a new pair of shoes. But if you have a look at the Marten website and the Solovair website, they both have services to repair your shoes and to re-sole your shoes, although I don't know what the cost is like or how long it's likely to take. So if you've used this service, then please do let us know how it went. So what about the leather? Is there a big difference in quality? Now I must admit, I'm not an expert when it comes to leather quality. I'll leave that to Rose Anvil, but from what I can tell, the leather does seem better on the Solovairs. It's thicker, the shoe has more structure because of it, and it does give off a better look in my opinion. The Docs on the other hand feel thinner, and they also feel and look more plasticky. The difference isn't huge, but it's definitely noticeable. But you can tell that the Docs are made on a mass scale to generate as much profit as possible, whereas the Solovairs are made with a lot more love and a lot more care. I think so anyway. But is that enough to stop me buying the Docs? The short answer is no, because I did buy a pair after all, but let's talk about the sizing and comfort next, before I expand on that. So just to let you know about my sizing, I normally wear a UK 9 in Vans, Adidas, Nike, all the big names, and I sized down a full size in both of these shoes. And I do feel that the Docs are more roomy for me. Once you get them on, they're very difficult to get on, more difficult than the Solovairs. I couldn't get my foot into my Doc Martens at all without a shoehorn when I first got them, and it's still a struggle today, but once my foot's in there, they fit perfectly. With the Solovairs, however, I could get them on without a shoehorn straight away, although I wouldn't advise it, but they are a little bit more narrow in the toe box. It's not much and the leather will stretch out, but it's noticeable. But when it comes to sizing, I always recommend that you try them on for yourself. Everyone likes their shoes to fit different. With loafers, I like them really tight so they don't slip off, so you might like them to fit differently. And when it comes to comfort, I do find both pairs really comfortable once they're broken in. Both shoes are tight at first, especially the Docs, and I have heard some horror stories with the Docs, but I didn't experience much pain. I got lucky. I've also noticed that the Docs have a deeper instep. I think that's what it's called anyway, but basically your foot sits lower down in the shoe, so the sides of the shoe come further up your ankle. This means that the leather rubs on my ankle a little bit more when I'm going around corners than on the Solovairs, but it's barely noticeable. But I did notice it, so that's why I'm telling you. The Solovairs also have a wooden shank in their sole, which gives the shoe more structure and makes them more comfortable to wear for long periods of time. And in my opinion, the Solovairs do feel more sturdy, and that's probably down to the better quality leather and the shank in the sole. But both shoes, as I said, are really comfortable, so either are going to be just fine once you've broken them in. So after all this, which is going to be the better shoe for you? Well, it depends what you want them for. In terms of quality and attention to detail, then the Solovairs are the better shoe here, without a doubt. They also give off a smarter and more polished look, so if you're looking for a smarter shoe, then I'd choose the Solovairs. However, if you're looking for a shoe to wear with more relaxed streetwear style fits, or grungy fits, punky fits, metal fits, those kinds of fits basically, more relaxed fits, then I choose the Docs. Even though you can dress up and dress down either shoe, I do think the Solovairs are slightly more suited to smarter occasions, whereas the Docs are more casual, if that's going to be a deciding factor for you. So I'm just editing the video and I've realised that I didn't answer why I bought the Docs over the Solovairs in the first place. Well, it's for the exact reason that I explained in this video. I wanted something more casual for my streetwear fits or my more grungy fits, so that's why I went with the Docs. But now I have both, I'll be wearing my Solovairs with my smarter outfits and for smarter occasions, and keeping my Docs for my more casual fits. But honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with owning either shoe in your wardrobe. I think they're going to give you a lot of wear, they go with everything, and they're timeless, so you can wear them for years and years. But any other questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I hope this was helpful. Please leave the video a like if it was. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I think I just spat. See you later.